Welcome to Board Gaming with Austin. I am going to be showing you this game called Oltree. It's a very fun game by the company Studio H. It's a 2 to 6 player game, I want to say. It plays in about an hour and a half. I mean, it didn't take us that long to play. And it's got a lot of components to it, but don't let that scare you. They're not actually that abundant. They're not that complex. So I'm going to go over real quick how to set it up, and then I'm going to explain a quick turn to you. It's actually really quick, really easy. The directions do have a typo, and I want to save you some heartache for that. Go to the setup section of the directions. Start with step 1, place the board game down in the middle of the table. That's the main board game. This off on the right side is the second board game, game board. And then step 2, set up the side board. There you go. Then you want to shuffle the problem and event decks. It says problem and incident decks, but you want to shuffle the problem, if you can see this, the problem and the event decks. You want to shuffle these individually and place them in these spots on the board. You don't want to shuffle these yet. You don't shuffle these at all because, not yet. And you don't shuffle the book for sure. And you don't really want to shuffle those over there. That I want to get straight to the point. Those on the far left are assignments. This is the chronicle. Those don't get shuffled. This doesn't get shuffled. This is the incidents, the problems, and the events get shuffled. Then, step 3, shuffle, yep, there you go. Step 4, each player grabs their ranger card, a heart token, and places it on the top hearts bar, health bar. And you grab your figurine and you place your figurines here in the courtyard in the center of the fortress. Then you take one provision and place it next to your character board. Okay. You grab the adversity marker, which is this one right here, the big brown one, and you place it on the square right in front of the chronicle. You don't flip the first page of the chronicle over yet because you're not technically playing that spot. You're just on that spot. Go to step 6. Place the prestige and defense markers on space 3. So this is the fortress defense, and this is the prestige marker. You place those on the 3 mark spot. Then you're going to want to place all the building tiles. Over there is where they're located, but they are all lined up. And it was the directions were a little confusing. You're going to want to get only the tokens that have this shade on them on the front and this shade of them on the back. You're going to put those by each other. These ones are next to them, but you're going to ignore them. You're going to want to pay attention to the design on the back of their cards, which is keys, because that coincides with the first chronicle that they suggest you start with. The keys open doors. But I'm going to get there. Step 8 is you're going to take the various resources, tokens, and dice and put them within reach next to your main board. So this is where I want to talk about and explain real quick what the resources actually are versus the provisions. These right here are the resources. These are the only resources in the game. When the symbol for resources is a cornucopia. So the cornucopia is that symbol right over there in region 1 in the community space. That's the cornucopia. That stands for resources. That refers to these items right here. You can exchange these items interchangeably in that spot. What you cannot do is exchange any of those items for a provision, which is a food item that is only supposed to be associated with your character, and that stays by your character's card at all times. You can't share breads. What you do is you do share resources. The resources, when you get them, go directly into the courtyard. All right. Then 10, choose an assignment. All right, so you're going to get the assignment. So what they suggest you start with, and what I'm going to suggest you start with for step 9 and 10, is you're going to choose the Chronicles Open Doors, and you're going to choose the associated assignment, A New Start. A New Start has a moderate difficulty level, and the open doors is the beginner chapter that they suggest you start with. Then you're going to go on step 11, take the 2 decks of incidents listed on the chosen assignment and shuffle them. So the assignment that they suggest you start with has these symbols right here and here, and that's a windmill, and that's a mountain with a trail on it. And you're going to grab the decks and the incident pile that match those. These are the incident cards, and that symbol right there is the same symbols, a windmill and a mountain with a trail. You grab those, and then you finally shuffle these. There's no reason to shuffle these before grabbing these because they're sectioned off separately in that pile. But now that you have them pulled out, the 2 different sections, shuffle these together and place them here in your incident pile. Step 12, the next step, once you're there, is you're going to take 3 cards at a time, place them into each region in the incident spot location. Now you want to play your first game. You're going to actually start the final setup of your first game. If you have 2 players, they suggest you grab 2 buildings from one of the 4 options they give you: the barracks, the library, the tavern, or the inn. So you want to grab those pieces on the side of the board, look at the benefits that they'll give you to start out the game with benefits. Whatever 2 you choose, you get those benefits immediately. So let's say that you chose to go with tavern. Tavern would have cost you this resource to get, but you decided not to do that. You decided to get it for free at the beginning of the game. So you flip it to its built side, since it's built for you for free to begin the game. And if it had any benefits down here, it would show you, whether it's prestige or defense, or in this case, it gives you an extra dice for your traveler profession. You place that in this square around the courtyard inside of the fortress where the buildings are to be built. Now you want to start the game. That is how you set up the whole game. And the next video is going to be how to play, some quick how-tos